Mr. Speaker, Sir, Fiji and the region still reels from the shock of COVID-19. However, we're not actually sitting palm in face, and the Fijian government's efforts to economic recovery are far-reaching and cross-cutting. We have ensured that every Fijian is provided some form of support, whether they're an individual or a business. Mr. Speaker, sir, from the very first COVID budget last year to the 2021-2022 national budget, the Fijian government has actually laid down the foundation of our economic recovery. And within days of the second wave of COVID-19, we ensured that appropriate mechanisms and guidelines were in place for businesses to reopen safely. Although we were criticized for allowing our manufacturers to continue operations and exports, despite the fact that it meant re-employing Fijians, we were also chastised for having faith in ICT and BPO operators to pivot Fiji as the preferred BPO destination. And today, Mr. Speaker, sir, just some 5 months from the beginning of the second wave, we're pretty much all set to reopen our international borders. There is confidence in the government and in this government's leadership in reopening. We've taken this same particular leadership, Honourable Speaker, sir, to the Pacific Island Forum, with the Honourable Prime Minister chairing the forum leaders and with Fiji as the chair for the Pacific ACP and Forum Trade Ministers meetings. Mr. Speaker, sir, at the recently held Pacific, African, Caribbean and Pacific Forum Trade Ministers meeting, it was agreed that regionalism and regional solidarity is more critical now than it has ever been. And as a region, we have similar concerns and issues, so moving forward as a regional group is really the only way to strengthen trade and economic integration in order to set the foundation to launch into the global trade arena. Mr. Speaker, sir, in this regard, the regional trade ministers have endorsed the fast-tracking of the review and the modernization of the Pacific Island countries' trade agreement, which is commonly known as PICTA, and the rules of origin. The PICTA is the only trade agreement that we have between the 14 Pacific Island countries, which when fully operational, Honourable Speaker, so will allow increased trade and investment between the PICs. The modernization of the rules of origin will allow also for enhanced flow of goods across the region. Currently, the PICs combined are amongst the largest export destinations for Fiji. Approximately 40% of total exports of $894.6 million in 2019 was destined for Pacific Island countries. And better rules of entry into the PIC markets essentially means more Fijian exports in the region and strengthens Fiji's position as a trade hub. We will be able to attract investment, Honourable Speaker, sir, in manufacturing and warehousing facilities as the market will actually increase to over 10 million odd people. Mr. Speaker, sir, labour mobility also is a very important contributor to the Pacific economy, and according to the World Bank Group, workers on the Pacific labour mobility schemes send approximately Australian $9,000 back to their families. And this is equivalent to 3 years' wages in many countries, sir. So remittances such as these are actually vital to support livelihoods. In Fiji, remittances over the last 10 years, they averaged about $433.2 million, equivalent to 4.7% of GDP, with more than about 60% of the funds coming from Australia, New Zealand, and the US. Fiji's remittances received last year was the highest ever, and that was standing at $52.75 million, which is an annual increase of 11%. The trade ministers, Honourable Speaker, sir, have collectively agreed to enhance these labour mobility arrangements, and last week the Labour Mobility Reference Group, consisting of officials from the region, met to discuss the comprehensive review of the labour mobility schemes in the region. In addition to these, the region is actually working on strengthening our regional trade data through the establishment of a regional trade observatory, and a regional infrastructure strategy is also being developed to guide the region's collective efforts in building on and strengthening the development of our factors of production in the Pacific. These are some of the collective actions that the region is actually taking to mount a recovery and to create a stronger foundation that will enable us to withstand future external shocks and build some resilience. As a region, Honourable Speaker, so we're actually future-proofing ourselves, not just looking at short-term gains, but long-term stability and sustainability. And Fiji, through our Honourable Prime Minister's leadership as the Pacific Island Forum Chair, will ensure that the region is focused on trade and economic consolidation and that we move together as a group. So I thank the Honourable Member for his questions.